You're sitting there and you've watched every YouTube video, every jump shot video that everyone's put out. You've tried them all. Once in a while, one works, but it seems like a week later, it doesn't work anymore. You're like, what the hell? What's going on? So you go and you watch another video about another jump shot that came out a week later. Yeah, the patches affects jump shots. But if you really know the timing of a jump shot, it doesn't really matter. So what I'm going to teach you today is how to find your jump shot. So that way you don't have to follow 60,000 videos, but rather find your own, create your own, and be your own. This is Black Ice 2020. Let's go. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Let's just show you whatever I have loaded on here. So I haven't checked this in a while. I've been on PlayStation playing, but this is my Xbox. So whatever shot I have, my base is always the same, but my release point's always the same. So no matter when I load up a shot, whenever, I know where my release point is. All the time, every single time. Now I don't have shot meter, shot feedback on because I don't give a crap about getting greens. I get buckets. That's all I care about. Getting your shot in. Do you care about getting your shot in, or do you care about greens? Now I knew I released that early because I was looking down at the late because I was looking down at the computer. I know when I release my shot late, when I release it early. I do not need a shot meter or anything to tell me. Every single time I can get my shot in because my release is the same. Because I have programmed, everyone has a well-timed, everyone has their own release point, everyone has their own timed in their head when they're supposed to release the shot. So people tell you to put on a release this, jump shot this, da-da-da-da-da. It may not match up your timing. So instead of going and learning someone else's timing, someone timing in their head, because my shot is largely based on my own personal timing when I play basketball. If you don't have one of those and you can relearn everyone else's, by all means, go right ahead. But this is for the people that don't. This is for the people that want to create a shot of their own that they don't even have to look at. That they could pick the shot up, no matter if they've played, no matter if they're on two different systems, they can just go and play. So let's go into 2K Labs if you're a Jumpshot Creator. And this is basically how I started. Now I looked at all the YouTube videos too. Shout out to Agent 00. I think that's what his name is. But I've watched him for a little while now. I started watching him in 2K17, and he's the only one that actually grinds like this. Like 2 weeks ago when I picked this up to really start playing NBA again, I had to go through all the animations, all the shots. I looked at a bunch of videos and did all that because this is the one NBA that's actually changed in terms of shot. I used to be able to predict shots by looking at the feet, looking at the meter. The meter was easier to read on all the other ones. So I had to go through a grind myself, and he's the only one that looks like he goes through the grind. You could tell that man goes through the grind of all these shots. But this is the way I'm telling people to start. And this is the way it's worked for me. It's worked for a bunch of people. You want to select LaMarcus Aldridge. So let's make LaMarcus Aldridge everything. And this is how you're going to know what your personal timing is, what your personal release is, what you need, how you need to go about changing your shot. So let's save this as, I don't know why all these things, but let's save this as, I don't know, man. Let's save it as yeah, okay. So now I have a LaMarcus Aldridge on. I'm going to go equip them, and that way you get to see what I mean by learning and judging what your personal in-house timing is. Because this is going to show you, wait, am I too late? Using LaMarcus Aldridge, I think the game uses LaMarcus Aldridge as a base itself. So you're using LaMarcus Aldridge as your personal base, your personal timing. So let's go in. So the shot, I know from my release, I know I was late, right? From the way I release the thing and where I pay attention to my shot. So actually, let me go back out. I should have done this first. For you, when you start, you want to turn back on shot meter and shot feedback, because that's going to let you know whether you are actually late or because not everybody's going to learn the shot, how to figure whether your shot is late or fast right away. So you put that stuff back on and then you start shooting. So right here, I'm late. I know I'm late. I'll take my first 3 shots, usually from both sides, and then I'll be able to tell. So right there, I'm good. Okay, so I was late, and then I'm good. Okay, let's come up here. All right, I'm still good. Okay, so what this tells you, right? If you came in here and you were shooting, and from LaMarcus Aldridge, you were shooting early, then you know LaMarcus Aldridge's release is it takes too long for you, way too long for you. So if you knew you were shooting way too early, you know his release took too long because your internal timing told you, release this. It looks right. Release it. You know, I'm not getting, even though I'm just shooting around, I'm not getting one early release. I'll get a late one because I'm trying to time or make the good release I'm trying to make the good release a green release. But my internal clock of my normal timing is telling me, listen, get off this right now. So I'm trying to time LaMarcus Aldridge. And from those shots I've taken, I think I've come close to getting greens. Like, it's just because I understand that my normal release is telling me that I have to release it right after I think I should. Right after I think I should, I have to release it right after then because my own internal clock wants to release it because that's when my normal shot timing is. So it's telling me release it slightly after you want to. So that's how I garner my own base of what I want my shot to be. So then I use LaMarcus Aldridge's shot, and you'll get to learn it as you go through. You'll learn to go to your player lab, and now what we're going to do is we're going to use LaMarcus Aldridge's shot as the base, because the base is the only thing that really determines your green. The other stuff, the release 1 and 2, just determines your actual release point. So I want LaMarcus Aldridge as my base because I know I like his green release, but I can't time his green release to my normal standards, because once you get into a pro-am game or a park game or whatever game, the lag and then not being able to time it right, you'll mess up more often than you want to because you're now waiting and then letting go after you think you should. And if someone's rushing at you, you might get nervous and let it go early, and it's not going to be good. So we want LaMarcus Aldridge. We keep LaMarcus Aldridge as the base. Now release 1, this is your gather release. This determines how he pulls the ball up to where his release point is. So LaMarcus Aldridge right now, he just gathers and goes up. There's a little hiccup in his jump, but he just gathers and goes up. Ray Allen does a huge push out and come up. Ray Allen almost holds the ball from underneath and pulls it up to the point. It gets there quicker, which is great, but that may not be what we want coming from this. Coming from that, where you are watching the shot go up, now you can learn to love Ray Allen. So I like to use Carmelo. Carmelo is one of the smoother releases in the game because he goes up, not much wasted motion, and he just goes and shoots. But see where he shoots right here? He goes up, pause. That's still the LaMarcus Aldridge pause. The LaMarcus Aldridge pause is at the top of the jump shot, right? So that pause is right there. That's still gonna mess me up a little bit, but the pull is better or more of what I'm used to. So I'm gonna choose Melo just because it's what I normally use, or I use Melo on a couple others. But your release 1 is good. So now we're gonna go and we're going to find, let's say we want to find a jump shot that gets rid of that pause at the top completely, right? So we're gonna go through all the releases, and we're going to see if we can find one where the release, Larry Bird is a favorite one of mine too, because it's quick, but it's usually a base for me, not so much a finisher. Because most of the top finishing jump shots of the NBA players, they all really finish the same at the end because they teach you how to shoot that way, really. They all finish the same, so there's that pause. So you want to get into the actual releases here. The actual releases here helps you actually change that release. They actually help you change the top. And I'm going to show you a drastic. I'm going to show you a drastic one, right? Let's go to one of the more popular. The 8 through 10 is very popular on 2K. If you're not using 8 through 10 as your 8 through 11 as your base, really, 11 and 8 being the more popular ones, 9 in there too, then you need to check those out. But let's say the release is 11. It doesn't change that much, but it's all about testing out where you're going to get in green. Now, if you want to really see the difference of when something is being released, let's go to 90, release 90. Look at release 90. Release 90, you can clearly see it's a little faster. Now release 91. You can clearly see it's a little faster. So now we're going to go to release 92. The pause is still there, but it's not as drastic. The timing that he holds it is not as drastic. And I'm just doing this to prove a point, because it's just a choice really and learning the actual release. If you can learn the release, then you don't need real help from the percentage of greens that really is inputted in this game. So just for giggles, but let me put back release 90. Okay, now the blend is where you're going to see the biggest difference. All right, I'm going to take it off mellow and put it mostly towards 90, because like I said, most NBA shot, the release is the same. So we're gonna go to, let's go 85% 90. Do we see a difference? Do we see a difference? He is not even going as high. His release point is no longer over his head, but it's rather towards dang near where his eyes is. You see where the point of his eyes? His hand goes right to where his eyes is. Right there. Do we see that? Okay. Now, so the blend, then we're going to go up. We're going to drop it down. We want his hand to go up a little higher. So there we go. As soon as that ball gets to the side of his head, now you release. So as soon as that ball gets to the side of his head, you release. So I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this because I see where he's releasing it. It's not that hesitation. LaMarcus Aldridge is my base, and let's save this, and let's call it, I don't know, whatever. So we saved it. We're learning it. We see what the changes are. We see what it's done. So let's go. Let's get equipped it. So there you go. Now you get to see what the jump shot is. Now what I'm going to tell you is the jump shots you make, if you're hitting, what you want is, the reason I turned off my shot meter is, in here in the shoot around, making shots doesn't actually mean jack, because you have to then go deal with the lag, go deal with other players when you're playing in the game, etc. So you have to deal with all that, and it seems like you used to be at greens here. Why is it different? Blah blah blah. This is not where you test out your shot. You actually have to go into games and test out your shot. So you might have to quit out some games, etc. But this helps you with the release. But really seeing a shot perform, you got to do it in games. So let's see. I did what I wanted to do. I wanted to change it just because of Aldridge. I knew it was messing me up at the top. So there we go. So I'm still a little late. Now, what I wasn't doing was I wasn't looking for the point of my release. So what I want to do then is seeing when he released it. Right inside of his eyes, right there. So I'm trying to judge where exactly I have to go, and the side of his eyes is where I want to go. So right there, I want to let it go. And the thing is, when you see where the jump shot's supposed to release, like if you're left-handed, it's harder to tell right away. So it's going to be, you're going to have 4 different releases when you're playing if you're a jump shooter. Meaning, you're releasing different here, you're releasing different here, you're releasing different here, and you're releasing different here. Because right here, I can see my shot much better than I can here. I'm not sure why, but it's just that I can. And here, the release is quicker because you see everything quicker, and everything is just quicker. Now, do you think it's an accident that I created a shot that's just getting greens right now? I have never played with the shot. I've never done anything with the shot. I'm just shooting with the shot. And there you go. So here's your first jump shot, your first free jump shot, you know, because apparently it's God. If that's what you want to believe, the way people shoot, the way people show you things, the way people go about things, the way people want to act like, you know, jump shots that they show in here mean anything, it doesn't actually mean that much. What you just looked at live, and also follow people that stream games. I haven't started streaming games yet, but you get to see whether their jump shot actually works or what the consistency of it is. Don't just take, I could have started this over 12,000 times, but I don't really care to do all that. You know, so that's how you decide. You use LaMarcus Aldridge as a base, and then you see whether you're late or early. So if LaMarcus Aldridge is early for you, then you want to do a shot that's much quicker. If LaMarcus, much later. If he's early for you, you want to do a shot that's much later. So you want to add maybe your first release, you want to make it a release where someone takes a little longer to gain themselves, or take a little longer to get the ball up to the point. You don't have to change your shot timing to get the release, to get a slower shot. You just got to take how long, you just got to change how long it takes for them to bring the ball up to the point in which that they want to get to their release. You don't have to change how quickly or how fast the shot is. It's just about how long it takes them to pull it up to the point. So that's what you want to change. Yeah, but man, listen, smash that like button. There's gonna be no one that's gonna be giving you content like I'm giving you content. The real content, the stuff that helps you grind out yourself the right way. Not just listen to some jump shot and following a jump shot that may not be your timing, and then when you get into a game, you're like, yo, this was working for a game because it's not your jump shot. So in 3 games, you're gonna be like, you're gonna switch back to your inward, your innate ability to release the ball. You're gonna switch back to your normal timing, forgetting their timing, and then have to think about what their timing is. Whereas if you make all your jump shot to your timing, you ain't got to worry about anything but switching up the base when it feels like you're just missing. When it feels like you're missing, you switch to a different jump shot you created because it's a different base, but it's the same release point for you. Man, listen, smash that like button, subscribe. I'm telling you, there's going to be some good content of when, how, and the better way. It's going to be basically tutorials on how to go about things, not just follow this or this works. So that way you can be better in your damn house when you're going through 3 hours of grinding trying to understand. It's been Black Ice 2020. Appreciate it.